As an angler, it's really important to me that I'm keeping things consistent in my fishing. The last thing I want to be doing is chopping and changing between things like bait and rigs, because it makes it a lot harder to identify exactly what it was that made the difference on any given day or situation. And it's for this reason that I almost exclusively only use 2 rigs. When I'm fishing a bottom bait or a wafter, I'm opting for a slip D, and when I'm fishing a pop-up, I'm always using the Ronnie Claw, and that's the rig that I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about today. Now, by no means do I confess to creating a new rig. It's simply a variation of the Ronnie rig, which I'm sure you will have all heard of before. It just incorporates a pattern of hook that is pretty unique to us here at Nash, and that is the claw or floater claw. So why am I so confident in this presentation? Well, I love everything that the Ronnie rig has to offer. First of all, you're able to present a pop-up super low to the deck. And second of all, I'm a big fan of the rotational element of the rig. So when that carp comes down, sucks in the hook bait, that hook is able to turn and grab hold really quickly. The rest of my confidence though stems from the hook pattern that I'm using. Now the claw or the floater claw has a beaked point and a very unique bend, and what that means is once that hook goes in, it's very difficult for it to come out again, which means you're going to lose less fish. Now I'll use this rig over a number of different types of substrate: silt, weed, gravel. The only things that I change according to the situation will be either the length of the boom or the lead setup that I'm using. So now I'm going to run you through exactly how I tie the rig and also the specific components that I use too. So the first thing I do is take my chosen hook, which is more often than not a size 6 floater claw. I then cut a small section of 1mm shrink tubing off and slide this over the eye of the hook. I then need to take a Ronnie swivel, thread the eye of the hook through the latch and then neaten this off with the shrink tube. The next thing to do is slide a bait screw over the bend of the hook. I'm always using a bait screw with this rig as it eliminates any need of any floss and tying things off and just makes things more efficient and a lot easier. Now the next thing I need to do is create the boom section for my rig, and my favourite material is the skin link in semi-stiff in the 20-pound variety. Now the length of your boom will depend on the substrate at bottom you're fishing over. As a rule of thumb, if you're fishing over a harder bottom, I make the boom around 4 or 5 inches and then I lengthen it the softer the ground gets. I then pass my section of skin link through the eye of the Ronnie swivel and secure this in place with an overhand loop knot. I then cut my boom section to length, slide on a long anti-tangle sleeve and then form another overhand loop knot at the other end of the material. I then need to firmly secure the hook to the Ronnie swivel, and to do this I use one of our shrinker tools. I place a hook link through the middle of the shrinker, pull it down tight to the hook, take a jet lighter and then run this up and down the metal section for 20 or so seconds and then remove the rig. You'll then have a few seconds or so to set the shrink tube to your desired angle. I like to kick mine out at a 45-degree angle, and this gives you a really aggressive hook and aids in hooking properties. So there you go, that's the rig pretty much complete. All that's left to do is to steam the rig so it's nice and straight and kicks away from the lead. Now I like to make sure my pop-up is critically balanced and sinks really slowly so it settles nicely over any debris, and to do this I'll slowly add putty around the overhand loop knot until I can achieve that effect.